If you've been off-roading in your Sprinter van and you've lifted a front tire in the air or spun one of your rear wheels and then subsequently gone nowhere, then you have experienced exactly what an open differential will do. Today, we're installing an ARB Air Locker in this Mercedes Sprinter, and we're gonna talk a little bit about why it's important and how it works. We performed this install today, and I want to break down for you how this air locker works, what it does to benefit you on and off-road, and a little bit about the system. Essentially, an open differential, which is what your van comes with stock, allows both wheels to spin independent of one another, which is really important when you're going around corners on hard packed surfaces. The outer wheel needs to spin faster than the inner wheel. There needs to be a differential in speed. The problem comes when you're going off-road and you experience wheel slip on the wheel that is being driven. The electronic system in the van will then try to fix the issue on its own. So it will apply the brakes to the wheel that's spinning, which will then in turn transfer power to the other wheel. In the event of a super low traction scenario like mud or snow or a loose rocky uphill, that wheel will turn just as soon as it applies power to it, and then it's doing the same thing with that wheel, applying brakes, trying to shift power to the other side. So eventually you'll have your foot to the floor and absolutely no power being driven to the rear differential. That is mainly due to the electronic systems on the van. What the air locker allows you to do is, with the use of a air-driven clutch gear, allows you to lock both rear axles together so they're both being driven at the same rate of speed. In turn, gives you double the traction, but also tricks the electronics of the Sprinter to allow it to continue giving power to the rear axle. That's the number one thing that saves you when you're out off-roading, is fooling the electronic system, having double the traction, and allowing you to maintain momentum and continue to apply throttle that will get you out of a bind in a low traction situation, get you up over that hill or obstacle that you're stuck in. We've seen it time and time again. Many of you who maybe have watched our channel for a while or have been out at an event with us and seen us off-road have seen what you can do with a two-wheel drive van like the Gigawagon when it comes to tackling off-road obstacles and terrain with just a simple air locker. It truly transforms the vehicle to something very capable. So essentially how the system works is you have to have an onboard air system, which we have an air compressor mounted under the hood of this van. This air line runs to the back here to the differential through an air port, and then when you supply air to it, this air collar pushes on a piston and engages a clutch gear. That's all inside of this carrier. At that point, both rear axles will be locked together so that they spin at the same rate. We use, in this case, a stock gear ratio ring and pinion gear setup, cut specifically for the Mercedes Sprinter. This is an all-wheel drive van, so we can't change the rear gear ratio on this van because we need to match the front differential. On a two-wheel drive or the older four-wheel drive vans, we can change that gear ratio and offer you different gearing based on your end-use scenario. In the case of my show van, I do a lot of heavy towing and hauling with it, so I went with a really tall gear ratio so that I could have a lot of low-end power and help get up over the hills. And it makes a huge difference. In this case, it's a factory 472 gear ratio. We match that with this ring and pinion setup. We install the carrier with the new ring and pinion. We set the pattern and all of the tolerances to factory specifications so that this gear setup is identical, if not a tighter tolerance than they come from the Mercedes factory. From there, we'll break in the gear set. We'll do 3 heat cycles on it, allowing the gears to get fully up to temp and then cool back down to room temp and perform that initial break-in period, which is really critical for the life of these gears. After that, we'll send you on your way, and then after a 500 to 1,000 mile interval, we'll have you come back, change the differential oil, inspect everything, make sure it's looking good, and then you're good to go back on regular service intervals for that rear differential.
So once you have a differential like this installed, how is that going to affect how the vehicle drives when you're on the street?
It's going to drive exactly like your stock van would on the street with the locker disengaged. It's really important that you don't run the air locker engaged with both axles running at the same speed when you're on hard surfaces like asphalt. That'll put a lot of additional strain on the drivetrain, on the differential and the rear axles, and it's simply not necessary. It's not how the van was designed to be used. With the differential unlocked or open, just like stock form, it's identical to your factory gear set, and you won't even know that it's in there.
So what if my van is all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive already? Do I need a locker? Like, what benefit will I gain from that?
Yeah, you can certainly gain a lot of benefit from this when it comes to a low traction scenario. One example I like to use is you're parked on an incline on a icy, snowy road. You go to start your van and pull out with an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive van. And as soon as those wheels start to spin, we go through the same scenario that I just mentioned earlier, where the van tries to apply the brakes to the wheels that are spinning. In an icy situation like that, it takes almost no time at all before you're going absolutely nowhere with your foot to the floor. With an air locker in that scenario, you'd be able to simply push a button on your dash with a 1/10 of a second, the air locker's engaged, and you're able to spin that rear axle and start to gain momentum and get up out of that parking spot. The same scenario applies to off-roading in mud or rocky hills or any other low traction situation where the electronics would typically fight you. Now you can circumvent that with the push of a button, and then also have the additional benefit of having double the traction in the rear.
So it sounds like I could benefit from this on my van. And you said driving it on the street's not going to change anything. Is there anything that could cause damage to the drivetrain by running an air locker like this?
No, only if you're running it engaged, which I mentioned earlier is not recommended. If you were to run your air locker engaged all the time out on the street, this would sound like an old school race car with a welded differential. Every time you turn a corner, the tires would squeal, the van would want to hop and bounce, and you would definitely know that it's engaged.
Sounds pretty cool.
It's cool. It's cool once until you break something in the rear end and then have to pay to fix it. So definitely do not recommend running the air locker engaged on hard surfaces. It's very hard on your drivetrain and simply unnecessary. The only time you need to do it is in a low traction situation.
So you said you installed this today. How is the install on something like this? It looks pretty complicated to me. Like, I don't think I could do it myself. Like, how would you describe the install?
It's certainly not DIY friendly, just due to the nature of the complexity of the install, the specialized tools required, and the tight tolerances that you need to maintain to make sure that this thing lasts and doesn't fail down the road. When it comes to the tolerances that we have to meet with this gear setup, we've got to set the pinion depth, the pinion preload, your pinion drag, carrier drag, backlash, the float or the amount of tension that's on the carrier itself. All of these bearings that are inside of here are set to a very specific tolerance. The gear engagement pattern has to be set correctly. Everything about how those gears engage and how much pressure is on the bearings matters when it comes to how loud this gear set will be going down the road and how long it will last when it comes to miles and miles of use. And it does require a lot of special tooling, so I would certainly recommend having this installed somewhere where they have a lot of experience putting it in, especially in the Mercedes Sprinter platform. There is a lot of additional programming that needs to take place on many of the vans, especially if you're changing gear ratios. So you definitely need to go somewhere where you can get that programming performed and make sure that you don't install a part that will then render the van unusable simply due to a mismatched gear ratio. Some of the specialized equipment that we use includes the differential spreading tool, pinion race setting and pulling tools. We have a milling machine that we use to relieve the bearing cap for the air collar. There's a lot of stuff that you just wouldn't normally have in a home garage, so it's definitely something you want to go to a professional shop for.
So once I get this installed on my van, what kind of maintenance can I expect? Is there any kind of like extra ongoing maintenance with a locker?
Like I mentioned earlier, you're going to need to do that initial gear oil change at around 500 to 1,000 miles. That keeps your gear set and your air locker in warranty. After that initial oil change, then you're going to be back on your normal Mercedes specified maintenance interval, and you're going to be using a good quality synthetic gear oil in the rear. I highly recommend checking, if not changing your gear oil more regularly than Mercedes calls for. Personally, I check and or change mine every 20,000 miles, which may be excessive, but in my opinion, I've invested a ton of money in this differential, and I want to ensure that it's going to last as long as possible. So it's well worth it in my mind to spend the money on 2.5 liters of gear oil and the time it takes to drop the oil and change it, versus having an issue with the rear end and not knowing about it. One thing that I've seen many times on stock differentials and with air lockers, people will have water in the differential oil and not know it. That can happen in many ways. You can have a seal fail, you can have a breather tube get ripped off. Essentially what will happen is water will contaminate that oil, and then it will cause accelerated wear on the gears to the point where you'll have to replace the entire gear set and differential way sooner than you should have.
Speaking of failures, what happens if my air system fails for some reason?
If your air system fails when you're driving the van, which would be, I would say, a worst case scenario with an air locker, you're simply back in stock form. The differential performs exactly like it would stock without an air locker. There's no getting stuck on the side of the road or the side of the trail because you lose your air. It's just simply back to a stock van.
All right, last question I have for you. How much is it going to cost me to get a locking diff in my van?
Yeah, you're going to be about $5,800 and up, depending on year of the van, gear ratio chosen, onboard air or not, and a few other factors that come into consideration when it comes to the install, but that's about your starting point.
So $5,800 for everything installed.
$5,800 for the air locker installed, ready to go.
Awesome.
So we have this gear set fully set up. Everything is torqued to spec and ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and put the Agile off-road differential cover on here, torque the bolts, fill it with oil, and then go break this air locker in. If you have any more questions on the air locker or how it might apply to your van, give us a call or drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.